Hey Regina, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. And you're an actor.
Yes.
You do theater. Do you want to tell us a little bit of some of the projects that you work on?
I am a multi-hyphenate creative, much like yourself. I'm a singer, dancer, actor, choreographer. I have been a facilitator of workshops. The last year has been really exciting. I was a part of 2 different plays this past year. The very first was A Christmas Carol at the Ensemble Theater of Santa Barbara.
Oh, wow.
And it was a different version. This was the Patrick Barlow version. Usually you see like a large cast doing A Christmas Carol. This one was a 5-person cast. One of the actors was playing Ebenezer Scrooge the entire time, and then the rest of us played 20 different characters.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like, having to play that many different characters in one show?
It was really exciting. And it was also kind of a test. You know, because you have the show to do every single night, it's a completely different experience. And you always have to be active and actively listening with your scene partners. So that was really exciting.
I feel the same way with this. At any second that I start to go a little bit, I'm like, no, okay, snap back in. I don't want to miss anything. How did you get into acting?
Okay, so I was a very morbid and morose child.
Okay, like Addams Family? Okay.
Yeah, like Addams Family,
Yeah, okay.
like Wednesday Addams, yeah. I remember I was growing up and we were visiting family here in California, in Daly City, in San Francisco.
Okay.
And my cousin was tasked with babysitting me, and he didn't know quite what to do with a 5-year-old. So he put on the Broadway cast recording of Les Miserables. I remember looking at my cousin Alan and going, wait, so I can pretend that I'm dying and sing in front of an audience and get paid to do it? Sign me up. I spent the rest of the vacation memorizing and learning the songs from Les Mis.
And going forward, would you try and get into any other acting, like screen acting, voiceover?
Yeah.
Are you doing that as well right now?
Yeah.
Okay, what has that been like?
It's been great. I was able to film an episode of Good Girls.
Oh, wow.
And so we were in a scene. It was Christina Hendricks, Retta, Mae Whitman, Ever Carradine from The Handmaid's Tale. And I was Ever Carradine's right-hand gal. And before the cameras were rolling, Christina Hendricks would look in my eyes and take that moment before. And that was probably one of the best jobs.
When you get the chance to work at a high level like that, even if it's only for a few weeks, you know, just absorbing everything that these big actors have to give us. And like you said, you learned that you have to take your time.
Yes.
On set, it's your moment. And did you get a chance to work on the Universal Studios lot?
Yeah, so we were on Elm Street, and what they had done was they had built, because there is a strip club on the show.
Okay.
And my role was, I was a very conservative parent against them opening a strip club in the neighborhood. And so they had built a front out on Elm Street.
It is really cool to see when you get these big productions, how much they can make. The set pieces, the lighting. Was that at all intimidating, working on a big show like that, walking into a soundstage or being in the middle of these big, famous exterior sets? Did you have a moment where you're like, uh-oh?
I think what was more scary was that it was during the pandemic, and I think that I hadn't been on a set like that in a number of years. I was lucky enough to film for an Amazon show, a pilot, in 2018. So that was 2020, so it had been 2 years. And we had been at home the whole time, you know, watching TV. So I think for me, it was giving myself the reality of being given that gift of being on set. And so I was trying to absorb everything around me, but it absolutely was nerve-wracking because you start to question yourself going, do I remember how to do this? Am I worthy to be here?
Yes.
And so you look around and you try to like sponge it up as much as you can.
People don't realize that even for one person on screen, there could be hundreds of crew members off screen making that happen. And do you also work behind the scenes in the industry in any sort of way? What do you do?
I do. I am a choreographer. I choreographed El Borracho at the Old Globe. I choreographed Shakespeare Call and Response at the Old Globe. So I do a lot of choreography. I was also a choreographer for Around the World in 80 Days at Theater Works in Colorado Springs. But it is exciting to work also from a choreographer's lens behind the table, so that you can look at the big picture and add to it. You know, as a kid, we're always making believe. So you're actually getting paid to make believe with your friends, with this group of this family that you've created in the space. So
a lot of actors think I must act, I can only act, but it's really fun to get the chance to do these other types of jobs, and you never know what will end up being something that you love and you end up doing for years and years. I mean, do you know what you want to keep doing in the industry for the next few years? Do you have an idea of where your career might be headed or where you want it to go?
I want to create more spaces that are inclusive. I think moving forward, or actually jumping back, I was so scared, Andy, of pursuing TV and film, because I hadn't seen anyone that looked like me. A lot of people would ask me growing up, like, oh, who is the star that you look up to? And I was like, Lea Salonga, and she was the voice of Jasmine. She was the first Kim in Miss Saigon, but there really wasn't anybody else that I could speak to. And this past year, I think, has been really exciting with Michelle Yeoh, with Stephanie Hsu, Kiwi Kwan, Jo Koy, Gemma Chan, all of these people trailblazing and creating more space for people who look like me behind the camera, in front of the camera. That makes me want to be in more spaces like that, and not only uplift my voice, but uplift the voices of others who were not gifted that opportunity.
Regina, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We're very excited to see what shows you get to perform in next, and we'll be looking out for you.
Thank you so much for having me, Andy. I've had such a wonderful time today.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you.
Hello, my wonderful dancers. I'm so happy to see your smiling faces. Welcome to the callback for Up and Comers, the musical. We were so touched by all of your songs and your monologues. Now we want to see how you move in your body. Nice and easy warm up. 5, 6, 7, 8. Look up, down, right, left, and roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, and pose. Okay, everyone, now we're going to go into the choreography. So nice, easy review of the choreography. 5, 6, 7, 8. Got it? They were so great. I have so much hope for this production. I can't unsee that.